Yo, videos aren't for children. It's about goddamn time I talk about this trilogy. The Dark Knight trilogy is one of the most iconic trilogies in fiction, aside from the original Star Wars trilogy, Lord of the Rings, or talk specifically about superheroes, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. Now, obviously I can go on and on about how Heath Ledger was the best superhero comic book villain as a Joker, how he gave an outstanding performance, you want to know how he got these scars, or Ben Affleck being quoted for hours and hours as Batman. But what I want to talk about is something that no one really talks about with this trilogy, on how The Dark Knight actually has secondary antagonists besides the obvious Joker. And that, ironically, is Two-Face. So, in The Dark Knight, we get introduced to Harvey Apollo Dent, the new up-and-coming district attorney of Gotham City, who is pretty much Batman, but instead of the Dark Knight, he's the White Knight. As while Batman is a fearful vigilante and a bit of an outlaw, Harvey Dent is a widely beloved public figure. However, like the comics and the animated series, he's best friends with Batman Commissioner Gordon, and the three of them are working on taking out the biggest enemy of Gotham City at that time, a terrorist known as the Joker. He's on a date. He also has a love triangle between him, Bruce Wayne, and Rachel Dawes, who isn't really that much of an interesting character. She's just kind of there to have romance, which thankfully gets replaced with Catwoman in the third film. However, the Joker realizes that it's been a while since I started hating on people, and as usual, he wants to prove that Batman and his friends can snap with one bad day. So he chooses Harvey Dent as his victim, and he pulls a really funny prank where he kills Rachel and blows Harvey the fuck up, spontaneously combusting, and he turns to a half-human, half-zombie hybrid named Two-Face. Now a half-zombie, Harvey takes the law into his own hand and kills the criminals that Batman and Gordon keep sending to Arkham Asylum over and over again. So, obviously this is the second live-action iteration of Two-Face aside from Batman Forever back in 1995 with Tommy Lee Jones. And it's no secret that Tommy Lee Jones isn't really the best Two-Face. I personally wasn't around for the Dark Knight hype, but I do know when we got these promos with the Why So Serious Joker, the Batarang. One speculation was how Harvey Dent got a teaser, which more than likely meant that we were going to get Two-Face. And lo and behold, we did. And then he existed for 10 minutes and then he fucking died. Yeah, unfortunately this is another one of those days, huh? Despite all the hype, the amazing actor, Harvey Dent had 10 minutes of screen time and then he fucking died and he never appeared again. Yeah, most people have said this time and time again, but it's true. Two-Face should have been saved for The Dark Knight 3 or maybe even The Dark Knight 4. Two-Face as a character deserves his own movie. And in the comics, him and Batman have a huge rivalry and long-standing history. He's not just a broken, angry man with a gun. And while Internet Call does give a good performance here, aside from the Two-Face voice, because with Two-Face, he's supposed to have a raspy voice since he literally got burned alive. Here, he just has a regular white dude voice as Harvey, and as Two-Face, he yells more, which is really off-putting considering this design, which we will get to in a minute. But despite that, I do think this is an underrated performance, because really no one talks about it. I mean, you talk about Bane, Joker, you quote Batman, and then Two-Face is just forgotten about. I mean, yeah, he's a mainstream Two-Face that usually gets a bunch of images appearance here and there, but not really for all analysis. I do really like how they do portray the despair in Two-Face and make it more grounded and serious, as it really makes sense for this guy to wear two-tone suits. Because he did try to be a good man, and look where it got him. Have his face blown the fuck up, the love of his life dead, and the scumbags that did it are just all out and about. Although, I have a question. Why didn't you kill Joker? Because Joker was the one that transformed the Two-Face in the first place. Like, Joker manipulates him, saying that it's not his fault, it's society. But, like, Harvey would have been much more smart to notice that. As for the monster design of Two-Face, it was done by the people that made Freddy Krueger in the Elms remake, but again, like Telltale, I think they just made it disgusting. He just looks like he has a skin disease or flesh-eating bacteria. Like, I know they were trying to ground it and go for a realistic burn victim, but it just doesn't work. The suit is bland. It's one of the most blandest outfits he wore. It's just the district attorney suit, but with the top half burnt, and the top half has some red marks on it. And there is no way in hell someone can realistically survive with extreme burns like this. He looks cool in the shadows when he's lurking around, but when you put a light on him, it's just like, ew, he looks like a burnt marshmallow. It's not as bad as the Telltale one, where he literally has a bloodshot eye, and I do like the all gray or red charcoals on him because, again, realistically, he wouldn't just turn a whole new ass skin color like he does in the anime series or the comics. But I don't know, they just went way too far with it, and again, it was like Batman's beat up a guy with a skin disease, and the fact that he didn't get a boss fight either, he just died, so that's pretty much why no one really remembers his Two-Face. Which is really sad, because I do think he had potential of giving more screen time, but this is what got tied up here. So in the end, Aaron Eckhart was a good Harvey Dent. He was a decent Two-Face. Sure, so not a good Two-Face, but he was a decent one for the limited screen time he got. If he had more screen time, a deep voice, and if he got his own movie and the actual fight scene, I think he could have probably been the best live-action Two-Face. He's objectively the best over Tommy Lee Jones, despite Tommy Lee Jones having more comic-accurate origin involving the acid though and the court scene. But unfortunately, this Two-Face is just kind of meh, although he doesn't deserve to be forgotten.